In the areas that I'm broken, that I feel inadequate, that I don't feel confident, is the same exact spot and area where I have to fix in the first place. And then I have to build on top of that. And that what I'm building on top of is where God's purpose for me is at. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. It makes sense to me in my head. So in order for me to reach what God has for me, I have to build up starting from my broken places. Hey, good people, it's your man Shannyn Casino, and this is another episode of Fifth Charge. Yes, Fifth Charge, the podcast. I'm happy that you guys have tapped in, clicked in to come and sit with me and hang out, kick it, talk randomly, random stuff, just off the top of your head. You know, that anything that comes to you that's concerning you, we can talk about here. And if we don't talk about it here on this episode, we'll talk about it on the next one. Speaking of next episode, make sure you subscribe. Subscribe to this one. Subscribe to this channel. Make sure you guys share. Make sure you guys comment, especially if I say anything that is that touched you, or if it raised the question for you. This is a good time to talk about it in the comments and share it as a discussion, amongst your friends, even if it's, if it's something I'm not talking about, that, something that I am talking about that's not for you, that's fine. I get it. But there will be something that, that raises a question for you. And maybe you want to, talk to your friends about it, and make it a discussion at your next party. Go ahead and feel free to do so. But before you do that, once again, make sure you guys subscribe, stay connected, stay tapped in with your boy. Yeah. So this is Fifth Charge. So much going on in the world, so much happening. I'm going to tell you what I'm not going to do. Here's what I'm not going to do today. All right. We are not going to, this is a safe space. We are not going to talk about politics here. This election for some reason is so emotional and so touchy that you just you can't say anything about anybody, without them attacking the other party, which I think is it's super silly. So let's not do that. I don't even want to talk about politics here. This is not a podcast where we're talking about politics. Not to say that there won't be other platforms that I won't be on, or questions asked to me about politics, which it's not my field. It's not my industry. But I will answer the question if I have an answer for it. One thing I've learned, if I don't have an answer for it, for a question, then I just, I hold back. I don't try to make up something to just have an answer and then destroying people out there, just to try to get somebody to be on my side, or to hear my radical point of view or something like that. I'm not interested in that. And it's a lot of people online that does that, and I'm not interested in that neither. I am here to be strictly positive, and walk in light, walking in the light of life. Life is tough already, but we have to choose the life that we want. And I choose to be stress-free. I'm not stressing. It took me a long time to get to this place where I am, where I'm just about unbothered by people's mess, friends, family. I'm in that place. I'm in that space. Let me know, have you got there? Are you in that space where you are just unbothered? You finally got there, where you used to kind of stress out about everything that you're going through, and not only the things that you're going through, but also the things that people call you with, that really, 9 times out of 10, it's not much you can do about it. But people call you with their problems, so therefore it becomes your problem because you're just that kind of person. Yeah, that's me. That's me. That was me. But today I am just in a place where I'm unbothered. It's like, hey, listen, I paid my dues for giving a damn, in situations where I gave more concern about the situation than the actual person in it. I've I've done that for a lot of my life, and for me to get to a place where it's just like, hey, what you're going through is on you. It really feels good. Shout out to the people who always live like that. Thank you. You taught me something. It does feel better on this side, especially the people that you help. They call you every 3 months. It's a rhythm to this thing. There's a person that has a rhythm with you. Sometimes it's every 2 weeks for some people. It's every month for some people. It's every 3 months for other people. But they call you in their rhythm of their problems and their cycles, and you give them all the advice that you could give them, which is some pretty good damn advice, I would say. And then once again, here comes 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month or two later, they come call you back with the same issues. And I'm gonna be honest with you, that gets exhausting to the person that is receiving all of this mess. Like, I wasn't there. I don't know this person. Nobody told you to date this person in the first place. How did you see all the bad signs, but you still did it? Listen, we're grown people. We're not 2-year-olds where we're telling people to, take this out your mouth. Don't eat that. Don't do this. Don't step on that. Don't play with fire. No, we're grown. We're here now. We are definitely here now. At adultism, and I'm not. It just feels good to not listen. What you go through is what you go through. Especially, and let me make that clear, especially the things that you bring on yourself. I'm not talking about, going through, rough times, you've been laid off, randomly you found out your significant other had an affair. I'm not talking about those things. I'm talking about the people who call you with their problems that they create for themselves time and time again. You're gonna have to handle that on your own. I'm over it, and I can only pray for you that you're over it. That you find a space where you can be over it as well, because enough is enough. So that's where I'm at. I ain't got time. I ain't got time. Yeah, and you shouldn't have time either. Life is better when you just like, I'm living my life. Shout out to Lil Duval. Living my best life. I ain't going back and forth with you. No, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Yeah. It feels good though to get a call. It does feel good to get a call like I did today. I got a call today from my sister, my oldest sister. She gave me a call today, and it was awesome. You know how these are the kind of phone calls I'm talking about. These are the kind of phone calls that we need to be accepting now and that need to be coming in. So my sister calls me today, my oldest sister, shout out to you, my oldest sister. And she called me, and some years ago, she went through a rough patch in life, and it was tough for her, and it was very heavy on her, what was going on. And I'm not getting into that. That's her business, right? So today she gives me this call, and you know how when like somebody calls you and you say hello, and they're like, hey, how you doing? Like, it was like the first time in a long time I heard her sound so bright. And I told her that. I said, you sound bright. It sounds like the exposure to her spirit, to her soul, has been turned up a few notches. She sounds bright. Her day sounds bright. Like I can't see where she is because we're not on FaceTime, but I can't see where she is, what room she's in, but she sounds like she is doing so well. She sounds like she's doing much better. She's telling me where she is and how what God is doing in her life and how she sees the opportunities. It's like, because I say it all the time, you know, if you feel good on the inside, that attracts a lot of great things, opportunities. And that's what she was calling me to tell me, that some great doors has opened up for her new business and the things that she is doing. And I don't know about you or who you are, but for me, I love to hear good news. It's not necessarily about people winning the Powerball money and all of those things. I love the good news of people feeling good about life, feeling good about their life, feeling good about feeling hopeful about what's getting ready to happen. You know, I love when people call me and say, you know, I just feel like something good is about to happen. I don't know if you ever felt that, but I feel that a lot of times. And 9 times out of 10, you're feeling like that because your spirit's good. You feel good in your mind. You feel good in your spirit. You know, it's like it's such an awesome feeling to walk in that light, to walk bright, to walk in light. It just does. Instead of just really you're just waiting for another bad moment to happen. I said in my book one time, in my book, I say it throughout the book. I said, in some of the, the rough times of my life in my younger years, and I would say, with everything good comes something bad. And that's how I was experiencing life. That's how I've come to learn life in my childhood. I come to find to have this expectation that if something good happened to me, I have to look over my shoulder because something bad has to be right around the corner. Because there's no way a person like me, deserved to be happy or deserve to have good things happen to me. And I don't know if you feel like that or have ever felt like that. you can let me know in the comments. But I know I used to think like that in my life. If something good happened to me, something bad has to be waiting for me around the corner. And man, that to live like that, that's miserable. That's a miserable way of living, thinking, feeling all the time. But now it's reversed. And I say it in reverse. Now I look at life, when something bad happens, I expect something good to happen. And now I walk in a light, like when something bad happens, I walk in a light where I say, I can find the good in every bad situation. I don't care what happens. And I know it's tough for people to even think like that, or to set their spirit to move in that energy. But it feels amazing to be able to walk in that kind of light. Like, okay, all right, I got a flat tire. But when I got the flat tire, somebody pulled over. It was a young brother that came to help me, which is good. But he's going through something himself, because everybody, I don't care who you are, you're either getting ready to go through something, you're in something, or you're getting ready to come out of something. It's one of the three. But let's say I get that flat tire, a young brother pulls over to help me with a flat tire, and now he's going through something through conversation of him helping me with the flat tire. And I'm just giving an example of a situation. And then we get on the topic about God, and then all of a sudden I told him something about God that he never knew. And now he's totally interested in whatever we was talking about God. And then 3-4 years later, you hear from this guy, and now he's in love with God and the Holy Spirit and things like that. And his life turned out better. He found a wife. He's just an upstanding guy, and he's just following a great path, through something that I told him. So I always look at the situation like, all right, I got a flat tire. Got to be something good come out of this. And just because it didn't, the benefit of the guy pulling over and me helping me with my tire, that's where I got helped at. But there goes another opportunity where you get to return, that favor. And when I say favor, I really truly mean favor, the favor of God. You get to return it because you never know where that guy's life could have turned out, or which way it turned out, or what way he would have went in life if I didn't get that flat tire. You don't know if down the road, 5 miles down the road, without stopping to help me, he could have been in an accident. That's how I look at life. Hit me in the comments. Let me know if that's how you feel too. And if you do feel like that's not you do feel like with everything good comes something bad, then we might need to talk personally. Like we might need to get on the chatter boxes, and we might need to, go ahead and go backwards and forth until we figure out what it is. Because especially if you're, over 25, 30 years old, and you feel like that, now's a good time at 25, 30 years old. Now's a good time to start doing the inner work if you have never done it before. I think the earlier the better, but if you have never done it before, around 25, 30, man or woman, I think if you've been broken, that's a good time to start waking up. Like, I want to get the rest of this life better. If you're tired of your situation and how you've been living, I think by the time you're going on 30 years old somewhere, it's like, listen, 25, 30, I gotta do something. I gotta do something with this life of mine. I don't know why I keep choosing the same kind of person for a relationship. I come out of a relationship from a bad breakup, and then I end up in another relationship with somebody that's exactly the same as the person you just broke up with. All they got is a different name, but they're the same people. They're the same people. I've been through that. I've come out of relationships thinking that the person was a problem, and then I get into another relationship, and then I go through the same kind of problems with that person. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. At that point, after when you start because some people don't notice it, but when you start to notice that there's an ongoing issue in every relationship that you've been in, chances are you might be the issue, you might be the problem. And it's just time to just wake up, take accountability for yourself and for what you've been doing, for what you're doing. And sometimes we don't know. Sometimes we're raised to be in certain kind of relationships that fit a broken life that you grew up in. So just for example, if you grew up, unfortunately, I hope this hasn't happened to you, but some people have. I've experienced it. But if you've grown up with your parents throwing real blows at each other, like fighting and arguing, hardcore, cussing each other out and throwing blows, and then you end up in a relationship where you're doing the same thing in your relationships, and you don't see no problem with that. It's like you're in a comfort zone of this thing. This is what relationships are. This is how it goes, right? And no, that is not how relationships are supposed to go. They're not supposed to go like that. That's not healthy. It's not a healthy relationship. That's toxic, right? That's toxic love. We're not going to say that it's not real love in a lot of situations. It is real love. It's just toxic. Some people really, truly take to heart, I love you to death. And I should be laughing at that. That's how some people love. Like, we got to fight. You don't love me if you don't fight me. I can't show you that I love you if you won't let me fight you. No, that's a toxic relationship, and you got to change that. Somebody's going to get hurt for real, and we don't want that. I know situations right now where one of the people in the relationship was toxic and it didn't end well. So, you got to do the work. You got to at some point you have to wake up and say, okay. And a lot of people don't want to take this kind of accountability, but really you have to be like, what's wrong with me? Why am I even attracted to that type? Why do I keep getting girls that like to stab my tires out and bash my windows out because I told her no? Not that I cheated. I didn't cheat on her. I didn't do this. I'm actually a good guy. I do everything that I can when she needs it. But this one time I said no. She does something really radical to me. Why do you keep finding these kind of women? My brother, you found these kind of women because, now I'm not talking about your mama. Bruh, I would never talk about your mama. I'm not talking about your mom. I would never. No, I know how sensitive brothers are about their mama. Right? Me too. All right? I'll get in a whole fight if you say anything about my mama. Right? But chances are, this is the energy that your mother lives in. And you grew up watching this. You seen your mother do the most messed up thing in the world. You seen your mother do the most messed up thing in the world to a dude that you know for a fact, like, she loves him. Why does she do him like that? I know she loves him. And then vice versa, it's the same thing. Ladies, you no matter how good or bad your dad was or is, there is something that you look for in a man that has that. He got that thing. Like, I want to, if you feel like you need to be, I need to know that I'm a little, I've heard women say this before. I need to know that I'm a little scared of him a little bit in order to be. No, that's not healthy. If he don't make me feel a little like I don't want to play with him like that, then I can't be with him. No, there's something wrong in you. When he get mad and he go to scratch his head and you flinching because he went to scratch his head. Okay, I thought you was gonna, but you like that energy, you like that feeling. It's a little toxic. It's a little toxic. You like to be in a relationship with somebody and I want to have a healthy. It sounds crazy. I want a healthy fear of my person. No, that's not normal. That's not normal. Choke me a little bit. Oh boy, I'm laughing at myself. I shouldn't be laughing. But this is Fifth Charge. Make sure y'all subscribe. I don't know. I'm just in a vibe with that. That was kind of funny to me. That was kind of funny. Yeah. And if I said anything, like I said, just hit me in the comments and we can talk more about this. We can go further. And on that next episode, we'll just go into that topic a little deeper. No matter what we're talking about, I want to be connected to you guys. And I want you guys to be connected to me. I'm doing this by myself. I don't have, people who have the kind of time that really understand what it takes to put into building a podcast or having a vision or having a dream, or answering a calling. And so I don't have a lot of people around me. I don't have people who have the kind of time to sit and talk with me. So this is why I do this. I do this because I want to meet more people who are interested in the behind the scenes of working a podcast, people who just want to be a part of something great. And I believe that this is going to be great. I believe it's already great. I've tried to do a podcast quite a few times. And, some were successful to a degree, but I'm talking like, it's not even about, when I say successful, talking about I got a message out. And I think now with Fifth Charge, I think the way it came to me, I believe that the way it came, I have a deeper message, and I believe I'm going to get to it. The more I do this, the more it will come out. The more you will see it, the more you will hear it. What I believe my purpose is, I believe that this podcast is great. I believe I like a lot of podcasts that are out there. Some people just have just a natural knack to just, talk and speak, so a lot of people just talk a lot of craziness. But a lot of people really have a knack to help people, to lift people up, lead them to self-revelation for their lives. And I believe, to a degree, I believe that's where I'm at. I believe I've always been that kind of person. I've never been the kind of person that had a lot of help doing what I do. Even when I was making music, I didn't have a lot of people that would help me. I'm just like one of those people, like, I don't know. People that say, man, I like the way he writes. I like the way he does this. I like the way he does that. And then I say, well, I need help to do this and do that. And people be like, well, what would you need help with? And it's like, oh my God, I need help. I need help with a few things. So I'm out here. So I believe that there is a nation that is assigned to everyone. And I've been told plenty of times, especially my good friend, Sister Faith, she told me when I first moved to the South, she said, I'll never forget it. She said, Shannyn, there's nations assigned to you. And if you don't get the vision out, if you don't get the assignment out that God has placed down on the inside of you, if you don't get that out, then the nations that are assigned to you, they will die. And when she says die, it's not that they will literally die, but their vision, their purpose, it won't come to life. So that's a whole nation of people that don't get to walk in their purpose because people need to hear it from you. The way you say it, the way you speak it. And I'm saying that to you too, to anyone watching this. If there's anything that you have that you feel the burden of, like I have to do this, I have to get this done. Go ahead and do it. You got to start somewhere, even if it's just starting with your cell phone. I mean, I do that too. But you got to get your message out there. You got to get your word out there. You got to get your whole personality. You just got to get it out there. And I just wanted to do music is what I really wanted to do. I really, to get on stages and speak in front of people, that's not really what I wanted to do. But no matter where I go and what I do, people are like, can you speak? Or, you should really be speaking and you should really be, because you have this thing. And I go, what thing are you talking about? Why do you see me? Listen, I wish you would have had this same energy with me when I was making music, but, sometimes you call yourself to a purpose and then God calls you to his purpose. And it just takes time for you to realize that your purpose is the way you seen your life was not the best way for you to go. And I can admit that I see that within these last 2 years, these last 2 to 3 years, I can say God's plan is way more better than my plan. It's I ain't gonna cap. It's a little bit more tougher. Is tougher a word? Is tougher a word? Tougher. Tough. It's a little bit more tough. It's a little bit more tough doing it the way that God wants. I'm just gonna say it for me. It might have been easier for you. it's a little bit more tough in the sense that it's easy in a sense, but it's a little more tough in a sense. And I say it's a little bit more tough in the sense that I have to develop more to receive what God is trying to do in my life. I have to break old comfort zones. As I was saying earlier, I had to take accountability of where I'm broken at, and I have to fix those areas. And not only fix those areas, I have to build up on those areas. You know what I mean? It's like, in the areas that I'm broken, that I feel inadequate, that I don't feel confident, is that is the same exact spot and area where I have to fix in the first place. And then I have to build on top of that. And that what I'm building on top of is where God's purpose for me is at. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. It makes sense to me in my head. So in order for me to reach what God has for me, I have to build up starting from my broken places. And whatever broken pieces that I have in my life, I have to take those and make a masterpiece with those broken pieces. That makes sense? I can't I can't do it any other way. And that's why I say it's a little bit more tough doing it God's way. Yet easier in the sense that the doors are all open in the direction that God has purposed you to go. For he said, what is it? Psalms 119, 105, I believe it is. He said, he will be a lamp at your feet, lighting your path. He's a lamp at your feet, lighting your path. Yes? So if he's a lamp at your feet, lighting your path, that means he knows the way that you should go. And so, because he gives you glimpses of your future, gives you glimpses of your purpose in all kind of ways. Sometimes he'll show you somebody who's modeling. If you look on any of my social medias, I always call myself an example because God always sends you an example. So I long to be an example of God's love, of God's directions, instructions, so that somebody else can see what I'm doing and they can follow along. So he always gives me an example, gives me a glimpse into the future through people, through situations. And when I see these situations, I go, that's the way that I'm supposed to go. And the door is open that way. Some people go and bang on doors and try to kick down doors that people are trying to keep you from getting into. And one of the best pieces of advice that I've ever heard was rejection is protection. A lot of people just don't get that. Rejection is protection. But you're still banging on a door that you're not supposed to go in. And thank you, Holy Spirit, because that's what I was doing with music. I was just banging on the door like, I'm going to try to do this. And guess what? I got in some of those doors, and every one of those doors that I got into, I was shown the door to go back out. Like, nope, not up in here. Like when I first stopped drinking and I really, stopped really clubbing and things like that. And then I tried to go out and hang out and sit at the bar and turn up one time. And so it never fails. Somebody always walks up to me, woman, man, be like, what you doing in here? I don't even be knowing these people. What you doing in here? Yeah, you just seem out of place. I'm like, what? I do? Listen, I'm all swag, fam. What you mean I'm out of place? I'm in the place to be. But in my heart, I'm like, nah, this ain't your scene. This ain't really your vibe. This ain't really your vibe. This ain't really what you supposed to be doing. You ever get that? You ever go somewhere and like somebody tell you like, you lost? You lost? Yeah, it's just heathens up in here. You don't seem the heathen type. Oh man, keeping it real with y'all. I ain't capping. You don't seem the heathen type. What you doing up in here? And that has been my life, and especially since I've chosen to walk with God, right? So yeah, he's a lamp at your feet, and he will light your path, to show you the way that you should go, the way that he chose for you to go, which is what's best for the kind of person you are. Because a lot of us think we're way more tougher than we think we are. It's so sad. It's so sad to see a brother who feels as though he has to put on this hard exterior when really, it's just like, bro, you a nice guy, and it's okay to be a nice guy. Like, you a cool dude. Ain't nothing like all of that. All them dudes over there, like half of them dudes ain't even paying attention to you on that rah-rah. You know what I mean? If you being this energy, you're actually attracting that more than you think you're getting away from it. So it's just like, just be yourself. Be yourself. And that's one thing I know I'm gonna be me. I'm gonna be me. I get around people. I'm a little bit more quiet. I'm just more observant. That's all. It doesn't mean nothing's wrong with me. I'm insecure. I'm soft or anything. It's just, I'm just more observant. But I still have a good time. I still like to have a good time, and I will have a good time. Ain't nobody stopping me from having no good time, because that's what I came to do. But yeah, pay attention to your to the path that's open for you. Stop ignoring it. Stop running from it because you feel as though you're not smart enough to do it. You feel broken. Like, that's not for me. No, it's for you. That path is for you. And that's why you keep thinking about it. And that's why it's on your heart like that. That's why it burdens you. It's like, man, if I can only, but I'm not, like, I don't have the kind of energy to stand in front of people and talk to people. But yeah, you can go and dirty wine in the middle of the club, booty up. Remember you used to do that? Used to tick, tick, boom. Used to get it in at the club on 10. We lit. But now God is saying those days are over, and I need you to go ahead and take life by the horns, and I want you to follow this path that I have shown you, and I want you to go, and I want you to stand in front of people, and I want you to be great, and I want you to let your personality and your life experiences shine out to the world, because at the end of the day, I put you through everything that you have gone through so you can have this testimony, because that testimony is going to help somebody not go through what you've been through. And that's for the people who are on that path. That's what testimonies are for. Somebody is on the path to doing something real messed up. And your testimony, because you've been through it, experienced it, had all the consequences to it, you can tell somebody, nah, bro, that's not the way you want to do this thing. That's not the way you want to do this thing. All right. I just wanted to kick it with y'all. I think I'm empty. Just wanted to just throw something out there. Something that's just the vibe with you guys. And I'll let y'all know real quick. I don't really write too much down. I just like to kind of go off the top of my head and off the top of my spirit, and let the Holy Spirit take me in the direction that I need to go. And all I can pray and hope for is that it meets you where you're at, and it makes sense to you, and you do something about what you heard. All right. Like I said before, you guys follow me on all social media, and subscribe. Share this content. Tell somebody to tap in. We're going to do this every week. Y'all know the name. Essie.